Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires today. Well, I was going to make a comment about it being hump day, but then I remembered I did that last week, which made me realize how fast time flies, which made me think about aging, which made me a little bit sad, which made me eat an entire bag of ketchup chips. And so welcome, indeed, to the inner workings of the middle-aged mind, and welcome more specifically to a battle between the Viper, playing as the Khmer or Khmer in yellow, as he takes on the Dragonstar, playing as the Mayans in teal. Now, while the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today? Now, the Khmer are a civilization that focuses on some of the heaviest hitting units in the game. Their Scorpions have extra range and can be upgraded to shoot a second bolt. Their Battle Elephants move 10% faster and can be upgraded to hit even harder with a +3 attack. And their unique unit is quite possibly one of the most annoying units to deal with head-on, because it is the Ballista Elephant, which, as it sounds, is an elephant unit with a giant frickin' ballista mounted on its back that can also be upgraded to shoot a second bolt. Now, in order to take advantage of these bonuses, upgrades, incredibly powerful units, the Khmer have to get their butts up to Castle and Imperial Ages ASAP with a lot of food in the bank. So to help them do this, they do come with a few pretty bonkers. Speaking of bonkers, what is going on with this Michael Jackson turkey doing a little bit of the moonwalk over here? In any event, they do come with a few pretty cool economic features. To start with, the Khmer don't need any structures to go up to the next stage, which means as long as you've got the resources, for example, 500 food for the Viper, he can go up to feudal. He does not need to build a secondary structure, although, of course, always highly recommended to build a secondary structure sometime in the Dark Age. Second, once you hit an age, all buildings from that age are available to you. There's no such thing as a prerequisite. If you want to build a stable in feudal, you don't need a barracks. You want to build a siege workshop in castle, you do not need a blacksmith. And lastly, Khmer farmers don't need to bring any food to a mill or a town center. As long as the farmer is working on the farm, it automatically, unit by unit, adds food to the Khmer stockpile. So they can literally build farms anywhere. I'm looking at the most secluded part of the map here in the corner as the Viper pulls the boar. You can place a Khmer farmer there. They will generate food for you. Now, Khmer villagers are also harder to raid because they can actually garrison inside houses whenever there is any kind of danger. And once that danger is passed, they get out and they get back to work. Ooh, not the best location for a deer, which is decaying under the hot Arabian sun here. But that is the Khmer civilization. Let's pivot to the north of the map at the, what do we want to call it? 1.5, 2 o'clock location. 1.5, 1:30, 2 o'clock location. We've got the Mayans in teal, a civ that pushes its players towards archer units. Their skirmishers can also be upgraded to throw a second, albeit weaker projectile, and their foot archers, except for skirmishers, become progressively cheaper as the game goes on, all the way up to 30% cheaper in Imperial, which does help them mass their unique unit, the Plumed Archer. This is the fastest foot archer in the game, and one that comes with a small little attack bonus against infantry. Now, to support their ranged units against the enemy, Mayan walls are 50% cheaper, so archers can stay safe behind a lot of these deer, stubborn as always. And their Eagle Warriors can be upgraded to get a massive +40 HP boost, which means a fully upgraded Mayan Elite Eagle Warrior comes with 100 HP, which is pretty darn bonkers. That help produce as large as army as possible. Mayan resources do last 15% longer, and they start the game with an extra villager, but 50 less food, which means they do start the game housed on a random Arabia map such as this, which is why you'll notice that in most 99% of cases, maybe when the game doesn't derp out like that, the first thing you'll see where your opponent researches or trains a villager, the Mayans research loom while they get their houses and their housing situation in order. Those are the two civilizations we've got before us today. It looks like Dragonstar has gone the absolute wrong direction and maybe realizing it pivots just as the Viper now leaves the safety of the warm embrace of his opening settlement, as now Dragonstar is going to discover, oh, and he's placing a palisade wall. Is he bringing villagers forward? Oh, and the Viper, he's gonna see it. I mean, I hope he's gonna see it. Yeah, of course he sees it. It's the Viper, and he immediately turns around and starts hunting these villagers who themselves see the Viper as he sees them. Will he take advantage of this little bit of attack? No, he does not, but he's making it clear to Dragonstar, hey, bruh, I know exactly what you want to do. Well, I don't know exactly what you want to do, but I know where exactly you want to do it. And now he sees exactly what his opponent is doing. So a very quick look. Let's take a look at the actual settlements and see where the resources are, where something can or can't be lamed, because it already looks like Dragonstar is laming, at least temporarily, the secondary gold of the Viper. 3 beautiful forests here for the Viper in a nice triangle shape. Makes walling off not the worst in the world. Primary stone and gold secure to the back, annoyingly placed on a hill. Is this 7 patches of gold? Is this 5? Who knows? Only the developers know. But for us, it is annoyingly placed. So we'll see where he can place a mining camp there. Feudal Age immediately. I absolutely love the use of proxy military industrial complexes these days. Players are just getting so much more aggressive. They are taking the fight to their opponent so damn quickly. Speaking of quickly, let's take a look at the Mayan base real quick before he starts pumping out some units. Forests not in the greatest of locations. Gold not in the greatest of location. Primary stone to the back. Additional gold off to the front and to kind of off to the left of the base. So I can see why the Dragonstar wants to be the one putting on the aggression. He does not want to have to defend this very forward gold. As now he's adding a tower into the mix, but the Viper's brought out his villagers 11 minutes into the game. We've got ourselves the first kill. Looks like a Khmer kill of a Mayan skirmisher. But of course, in true Age of Empires 2 fashion, the insult of the kill has already been met. And now the Viper's kill count is 3-2. As he'll use the maneuverability of these scouts and the villagers and skirmishers. So the Viper here, so far, doing a pretty darn good job of negating this attack. Dragonstar with not that much wood in the bank doesn't really know what to do with these villagers. So when you don't know what to do with your villagers, well, then you have to build a house. Seems to be the standard logic these days. Now he's going to try to put a tower, maybe put a tower here on the high ground. I don't know that the Viper is really going to let you put the tower here. If you put a tower up here, maybe, oh, maybe you'll be able to encroach slightly. But here, the Viper for sure is going to be fighting this tooth and nail. And with 4 skirmishers, 3 villagers, 4 villagers, 4 skirmishers, the numbers are always changing. So take all of these numbers with a grain of salt. But the Vipers, the point is, the Viper's got quite the defensive force here. He has come to play. He's taken off his berry villagers. What's inside of you? Still a villager. Now, we might be wondering, why is there a villager quivering in his boots here, shaking inside that house? As cool as it is to be able to garrison villagers inside the house where they can put their feet up and relax and watch TV while their friends literally have to take on a stone tower and kill it, you don't regenerate HP for your villagers when they're inside the houses. So that's one kind of negative. Bit of a train human centipede situation going on here. Viper attacking the tower. 2 villagers not repairing because he's got no stone. Might as well just get these villagers out of here and attack Viper's villagers. No, never mind. Tower goes down, and with the tower, by the way, and the repairing and the cancellations and all of that stuff, Dragonstar's out of stone. Viper still has his 200 stone stockpile, so we'll see if he uses that for a fast castle. We'll see if he uses that for additional town centers. For now, we know the Dragonstar has no stone, so I'm not too sure what he can do here anymore now that these villagers... Okay, so now he's attacking skirmishers with villagers. Viper's trying to wall him in, trap these military/civilian personnel. But the Viper might want to let these guys go, might want to focus. He's down a villager, he's down 4 army count as he now moves in, perhaps trying to lure an eagle out. But the eagle's going to close on the minimum range. And so, oh goodness, the ability of these players to find use for units that are basically dead is always so amazing for me. To me, rather. The opportunistic gets that these players manage to obtain is always so incredible. I mean, who would have had the ability to kill that villager with those 2 basically dead skirmishers, and then they both died at the same time? We saw this yesterday. We're seeing it today. I mean, we saw it yesterday with Hera. We're seeing it today with the Viper. What is going on with just leaving your units not on attack or even defensive mode, just kind of standing in no attack mode? What is happening right now? Viper is taking an interesting engagement. I thought maybe he would want to pull back into the safety of the town center radius, but No, he's just taking this engagement. Perhaps he just wants to keep his villagers farming. Now, you might be wondering if the Khmer can build farms anywhere like this guy. Why did he build them so close to the town center? That's probably just so he can garrison his villagers. Still makes sense to build it close to structures you can, you know, put your units inside of if they ever get injured or if they come under any kind of attack. And look at the top left of your screen, by the way. You see the where my mouse is at the top left, the number going up and up and up and up. That is the beauty of the Khmer farmer. And Dragonstar is back. He has 200 more gold. He is now dropping another tower. I am getting deja vu. Not only did I want to start the game with the same intro I did last week, now I'm seeing the same thing we saw 10 minutes ago. But unlike the other tower, this one is going to stay up for perhaps a little bit longer since the Viper doesn't really have an army that can take it on, nor does he have any villagers in the area, in the vicinity, to take on the tower as he did last time. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh, the stable's in jeopardy. Another tower. 5 villagers on stone is what the Mayan thinks he needs in order to be able to plop down a nice Mayan tower rush. The Viper replies, oh, he's spending his stone bank. He held on to it for so long, for 19 minutes. He held on to it against the kind of semi-tower rush. And now he finds himself in the position, the shitty position of having to spend 125 stone. And now he doesn't have enough stone to sell. He doesn't have enough stone for a town center, and he's going to have to mine the stone now again, like we saw. Luckily for him, stone is nice and secure to the back. I'm surprised the tower is going after the skirmisher and not after the villagers here. Why are you not going after the villagers? Bit of a mistake there from that one tower. Kill count very much in favor of the Viper, who has managed to kill 2 villagers to 1. 25 total kills to 17. Has he even seen his opponent's base? Yeah, okay, he has seen now his opponent's base. And Dragonstar's, this is quite a caravan of units here. They kind of seem lost. Look at the HP. It's terrible on these units. The healthiest units he's got are the villagers. Is he training more skirmishers? Is he training more spearmen? He's definitely training more skirmishers. Tower has 5 villagers inside. I bet they wish they were outside helping to build this tower. No, now he's going to have to cancel this tower as well. And cancel he does. Gets a little bit of the stone back. A very cockily placed tower, by the way. Not under any kind of defense of this tower. And the Viper, is he going to lose his tower? Both players now have 5 villagers on stone. Both players are starting to get their stone counts up. Neither player making any move against the other's main infrastructure. And so the Viper leaving his opponent's base completely untouched. And our Mayan, as interesting as this is, as fun as it is to watch, not really crippling any kind of major infrastructure here, although this tower might take a bite out of some of these farms. The Viper, if you look at his resources, looks like he is finally trying to get up to Castle Age to get some siege out to deal with this, or at least some kind of heavy hitting. Now, because the Khmer don't need any structures to go up to the next age, generally there's a lot of fast castle strategies with this civilization, and they involve fast castle siege, fast castle knights, FC, FC, FC all the live long day. I'm not too sure this is a fast castle situation. We're 23 minutes in. Our mine is really pushing in with another tower after another tower falls. Kill count is still 7 apart. Villager kills now 4-2. Total is 35-28. The Viper still has to place another tower. Our Mayan, what is he doing? He's buying food. So now he realizes, hey, wait a second. I don't really see anything here. I don't know what's going on. This is his vision. There's not really anything coming out to deal with this. You're kind of just delaying by placing counter towers that, you know, my tower is going to have to fire on. I think you might be going up to Castle Age, sneaky Viper. And so he himself is now banking a good amount of resources, buying whatever he can. He's selling food for gold, using the gold. Oh, he doesn't even have enough gold to buy 100 foods safely. It'll knock him down. There you go, below 200 gold. Oh, it's 199. That's so sour. For a second, he bought 100 food, and that put him at just under 200 gold. But he's finally heading up to the next age, 1 minute and 40 seconds behind his opponent. So we'll see what the Viper does with his advantage as the Mayan. Enough is enough. I am going home. I'm going to go defend the home front. And now the Viper has an interesting opportunity where he's going to have 1 minute and 40 seconds, and he's going to be able to pump out. Actually, no, he's not going to be able to pump out anything. Forget that. He doesn't have a stable. He's got an archery range. That is all he has. His barracks is down. Skirmishers, by the way, now that the attack is over, just getting a good amount of vision of the opponent's base. So Dragonstar making good use of the, table scraps, the leftovers, the crust of the pizza. For those of you who annoyingly don't eat the entire slice, this is like the crust. You kind of leave it there. You're not really sure what to do with it. They're not really a very good dipping sauce at whatever restaurant you're at. And so you kind of just leave it. It's bread. Who needs it? Who needs the extra carbs? You've already shoved 2,000 calories down your gullet. So why add a few more 100? Anyway, I am very much projecting. What do we have inside of you? A couple of Eagle Scouts. Okay. So our Mayan, realizing that the Viper's base is completely open to the rear. Oh, he's got vision of the stone. So when these Eagles pop out, I'm assuming in Castle Age, they're going to become warriors. I'm hoping we're going to get to see some good amount of damage. The Viper, by the way, using his 1 minute and 40-second advantage to not really accomplish much. Cleans up the crust off the table. Now the table's clean. An extra town center to the rear of his base. But he hasn't dislodged this infrastructure. He hasn't done anything to take out a bite out of our Mayan, who back home has 3 more barracks. And he's getting forging. So we're seeing an Eagle transition from our Mayan, who for a while there was on pure skirmisher tower, kind of spearman. Eagles get in. Viper not quick enough to wall in, or rather wall out those Eagles. And even if he did, there's so much open space. Anytime you face a Meso Civ, you really want to wall yourself in. And look at the mini map. The Viper is just surrounded. Eagles to the right of him. Eagles to the center. Eagles on the left trying to bust their way in. Let's see what happens here. They've already gotten a villager. Looks like they're about to get a second here on the right. Never mind. They get a second here down south. And now the wood line's exposed because I say this all the time like a broken frickin' record. Once you hit a certain number of villagers, there's just no way you can micro them all. And eventually they deforest and leave big open gaps. +1 armor, +1 attack on the Eagles means they're not too afraid of these towers. They can chase in. And the Viper says, you know what? You're pushing into the bottom right. So, hey, what the hell am I going to do? I'm just going to expand to the top left, where I've got another patch of stone, very fortuitously placed, annoyingly again on the side of a hill. These villagers, oh, they're going to be safe. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Any other civilization, this would be an absolute massacre. But the villagers right now are inside the house. I'm assuming he's going to get them out to the north and immediately run them towards the town center. No, never mind. He is definitely looking somewhere else. He is definitely microing somewhere else, as this is 4 more villagers who are going to die. Well, definitely 3. I don't know about this guy. He looks like he might make it. No, never mind. The road is too long. His health is too weak. And like the child of the writer in the Earl König. What is it? A poem? A story? He's gonna die, basically, is the point. He is not making it home. This is a lot of Eagles. 27 Eagles. The Viper, very comfortable with 5 army count. He's ahead 7 villagers. Of course, he's got 3 town centers to the 1 of his opponent. And now it's his turn to use the table scraps to see what kind of stuff is happening. What the hell is going on the other side of the map? Not too sure he's going to discover anything he likes. Although he's going to be a little bit annoying. And a ram moving very speedily with 6 Eagles inside, but Castle Age Castle. It's not named Castle Age for no reason. Ooh, I love the Dragonstar's movement. If you guys notice, it looked like the Viper tried to trap him in this little nook, but those Eagles absconded, and no, a whole bunch of villagers die, and more villagers will die. No, where are you going? Where is Dragonstar going? I think he could have killed those villagers. He's got 4 Eagles. Wow. Am I crazy, or could he have stopped the castle from going up? Why did he run away with those Eagles? Eagles, by the way, do come, now that they're warriors in the Castle Age, come with a +3 attack bonus against cavalry. And even though our Khmer does have bloodlines, he doesn't, I mean, he's got no army. The Viper's got no army. 2 monks. He's out gathering relics? Okay, very cocky moves out of the Viper. Very cocky moves. Town center, third one does fall, which knocks the Viper down to his 2. Eagles continuing to search the back. And, you know, honestly, a Ballista Elephant. Oh my god, we saw this matchup of Ballista Elephant versus Eagle Warrior with the Viper and Mr. Yo. Let's see. Let's frickin' go. I was gonna say, isn't it funny how the Civ with the most exposed resources is the one who's safest, and the Civ with the safest resources in the back, who didn't wall off in time, is now completely exposed and has his primary gold nullified. Additional gold is up top. Additional gold. Is the Viper mining any gold whatsoever right now? No, he's not. I mean, I'm laughing that he has no army supply. Is it a shock that he has no army supply? He's got no gold. He is buying, he sold 500 wood so he could buy 100 stone so that he could place it town center. But where will he place it? I see a band of yellow kind of moving here. Okay, so he's trying to do a little run by, a little maneuver here. If your opponent is all over you, stuck on your base like peanut butter and jelly on a sandwich, well, then you go off campus. You go as far away as possible, but the monk is on the hunt. If he catches wind of this, this is going to be very bad for the Viper. Speaking of very bad, his market looks like it's about to fall. The Eagles. Now, interestingly, the Eagles, remember, they come with 2 bonuses against this unit, because the Ballista Elephant is technically a siege unit, right? If you look at the armor class, there's cavalry at the top, and third from the bottom is siege. And so I don't think it's a big bonus. I think it's +1. Yeah, +1 for siege. No, I'm sorry, +3. Oh my goodness, +1 was before. +3 now for siege, and +3 for cavalry. And so these Eagles do 6 bonus damage. And if we're lucky enough to see illegal Eagle Warriors, I believe that jumps up to 5. Slowly, slowly, they are tinkling away at the HP. There's so many Eagles. The Viper is still on 5 army supply. Oh, the monk is going to discover. Is he going to discover the town center? Oh, he discovers it, and all of a sudden, the Viper's little maneuver, he went off campus. He didn't go far enough. Remember, you don't need redemption to convert these guys. They are technically cavalry, not siege. So, the Viper is being attacked to the bottom left. Eagles having a bit of a smoke break to the bottom right. Eagles and a monk pushing in through the north. And even though the Viper's got 5 Ballista Elephants, 4 of them are here. Where is the 5th? There he is. Two of the slowest moving units in the game chasing one another. I love it. Oh, Age of Empires. You never fail to disappoint. Now, are the Eagles going to go to the town center? Certainly looks like they're making their way west. There is nothing here to defend, and now their armor is, what, 5? Oh, maybe not. No, what a sour opportunity. Missed opportunity there for Dragonstar. Eagles pop out. Now they have the high ground, it looks like. And there's a few more. Are they going to rear end these elephants? Take them from behind? No, a few of them are going after villagers. A few of them are going to full frontal. And now they're poking the ass. Look at that adorable, wrinkly, gray butt as it escapes to the protection of both the town center. I was going to say 2 town centers, but not really. 1 town center and a castle, and that is way too much for our eagle to deal with. One will get surrounded, and the mob says we don't need no stinking army to take care of us. We will take care of ourselves. Eagle, slowly but surely. No, he doesn't die, and now it's going to be a massacre. We'll keep an eye on that in picture. Let's see what's going on to the south. Battering ram continuing its rampage. Raises must be crazy through the roof for our Mayan, who cleared up houses and a market down here. Does the Viper even have a replacement market? No, the Viper has no base, period. What even is this base? And look at this, how comfortable he is. Mining gold with a whole bunch of eagles. The Viper is just comfortable taking these risks. He knows he has to. There's no choice now. 5 villagers are stuck inside 6, soon to be 7. Arrows are firing on the eagles. Look, they'll eventually get the eagles. It's not gonna take. I'm saying it's not gonna be very quick. I'm not too sure how many villagers are gonna survive in the Viper. Doing the usual maneuver of ungarrisoning 1 villager to distract from the attack. And so at least it adds a little bit of longevity. Your villagers are dead meat anyway. So if you release them one at a time, your opponent might run after them with half his army like the Viper did here. And save your town center just for a little bit longer. Villagers are being chased down. There's 4 left. 3 left. Dum dum dum. Yes, I know how to count down from 3, 2, 1. Happy Death New Year to you. And now the Viper is going this way. Look, kudos to the Viper for maneuvering every which way he can. He is dealing with these Eagles with light cav. Okay. I mean, not even light cav, just scout cav. In 40 seconds, it'll be light cav. But look at the minimap. Look how constrained, how constricted this little base is. And our Mayan has managed to convert his first gray wrinkly butt. There's also a mangonel that's going to pop out. Remember, mangonels also do bonus damage against ballista elephants. I believe that was the whole point, if I'm not mistaken. Ballista elephants have a special armor that only 2 units in the game have. Oh, when the unit is right underneath those bolts, they fall down vertical. They don't actually go straight. And this is what happens when you've got 2 attack bonuses against your opponent's unit. As thick and chunky and juicy as that elephant burger is, the eagle eats it up, slops it up. But at the same time, another raid to the south, another raid to the south, another raid to the north. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see all of the craziness. And the eagles again to the south. But take a look at this. There's a special armor class called I guess it's called Hussite Wagon in Capture Age. It's not really Hussite Wagon. It's technically a heavy siege, which plus 12, plus 40, if you saw that real quick before the mangonel died. This unit and the Hussite Wagon are the only 2 units in the game to have the heavy siege armor class. And that whole armor class was designed so that mangonels would be able to counter those 2 units. Otherwise, the Hussite Wagon is just plus 12 attack bonus against the Hussite Wagon's triple-digit HP. Means nothing, but when you add a plus 40, man oh man, does it mean something. By the way, villagers hilariously also come with a plus 6 attack. I don't know why it says stone defense against heavy siege. Eagle takes on monk. Also an attack bonus. Sorry to keep going over these bonuses, but monk plus 8. Viper's base to the south. The eagles are back, but one of them looks like he's about to literally die from a strong wind. This is when the Viper decides to get handcart. I mean, you're down 6 villagers, 7 villagers, not the worst in the world, but comfortable enough. Now he's raiding to the north with ballista elephants. We will definitely be keeping an eye on that as the raiding continues to the south. Is that a pikeman I see? Okay, so you've tethered the fastest moving infantry unit in the game to the pikeman. Explains why those eagles are moving a little bit slower than usual in the animation. Eagle down. Eagle should go down very quickly. Viper does have ballistics, so his castle is going to be able to gun these eagles down very fast. Another flock, another convocation, and now he's finally at the 48-minute mark of the game. First of all, at the 48-minute mark of the game, we're still in Castle Age. And number 2, the Viper is finally hitting back. Look at the villager kill disparity. 75 to 19. The Viper needs to kill these villagers. His economy is on the ropes, but Dragonstar with his 1 town center, kinda but not really all in, now that he's added 2 more town centers, he's just been smothering this Khmer base all game, and now adding pikemen because of course he's running low on gold. Eagles are not that cheap that you can throw away hundreds of them without any kind of economic repercussions. Pikemen are going to try to take on villagers on the left. Villagers are, oh my god, you talk about deja vu. A tower drop at the 49-44 minute mark of the game. And here we go, the villagers are taking, he's gonna take it. The villager's gonna win. The villager's gonna win. No, he survives with 8 HP. Send another villager, let's see it. That, I mean, look at him staring off. What's the quotes? If you stare into the abyss and the abyss stares back. Something like that, some kind of fancy schmancy philosophical quote. Us We are more concerned about elephants getting poked in the ass and dying and falling with their giant quiver of ballista bolts. And it looks like the eagles took care of what the villagers could not. Another. Oh, that is sour for Dragonstar, getting this caught out. You can't even fight the light cav with your villagers at this point. And so you have to mine, you have to send something. Is anybody coming to their aid? Few pikemen. Looks like they're kind of maybe heading that way. No, they're heading south. So those villagers are all dead, basically. Villagers taking on pikemen. I don't know what the hell's going on in this game. There's a lot of villager involvement on both sides of the aisle here. Unsupported to battering ram moves in. Battering ram tucks tail and moves out. Oh, and he's still going here. He's still not done. What are the attack upgrades for the Viper? Why is it taking these guys so long? Yeah, he's only at forging, so he's only at +1. And again, we're in Castle Age, so the most they can possibly have is +2. Now the Dragonstar pulls his villagers. Now, when there's they're all dead. But he pulls them into a pikeman. Oh, he doesn't even get it. What an absolute close call there. Just like that ballista elephant. I don't know what this is. That kind of look kind of creepy. Looks like a the inside of a tusk. But let's see what's going on around the map, as it kind of looks like Dragonstar's attack is stalled out. I mean, it's been 53 long, aggressive, damaging minutes. But look at the villager kill count now. Viper's still not doing well, but he's doing better than before. Resources collected are almost identical. What is that, like 4%, 3% apart? Somebody go up to Imperial Age. The Viper, get Hussars to raid. Dragonstar, get Elite Eagle Warriors to take on everything. Somebody, for the love of Age of Empires, go up to Imperial. Oh, and now some knights. A Jaguar. Who is he attacking? Oh, he's attacking the knight? Hilarious. Not exactly the Aztec, silly Jaguar. You're not supposed to be attacking. You're supposed to be helping, I guess, the Viper. But infrastructure is being cleared out. And for the second time, Dragonstar, doing what he did 40 minutes ago, abandons the forward ship. Ooh, but he's left his relics. And look at the Viper salivating at the idea of teefing those relics. That monk, he's going to stick around. He's not going anywhere. Pikemen try to engage. Pikemen immediately F around and find out. What a beautiful row. What a beautiful OCD display of ballista elephants. Oh, we live for moments like this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, look at this. I would be upset that the units are stacking, except it looks like they're moving in slow motion. Like one of those Instagram videos where, you know, you move and then you move your arm left. Now it looks like there's just one. What is going on in this game? There's 9 units here, not one. There's 9. Survivalist recently did a live stream, I think like a week or so ago, where he exploited this bug where he moved his army on patrol and they would clump and he would be able to stick like 20 army supply into 2 tiles. But this is absolutely epic. They are one-shotting these pikemen, but there's a lot of Mayan here. And now I can actually see that mangonel. You see Hussite wagon plus 40. That is not a Hussite wagon. That is the heavy armor siege. As like a fart in a room, the ballista elephants disperse. And all of a sudden they're spread out, stinking up the farming community here. I mean, they are taking... Oh my goodness, I heard somebody go up to Imperial while I was fanboying over the ballista elephants. They're actually both going up to Imperial. That's why there was a bit of a lull in activity, a cessation in hostilities. Hello? Might want to get your ass in line. And that is the power. This is exactly why these units in the Hussite wagon have that special armor class. It's so that the mangonel can kind of counter them, whereas before it absolutely couldn't, because its attack bonus against siege is plus 12. And what are you going to do plus 12 against the unit that currently has 270 HP? Viper slowly Mr. Yoing these relics. Another delight for the senses here as 7 more ballista elephants. Ooh, that is a missed opportunity for that mangonel. That attack round could have done 40 damage. to a whole bunch of elephants, or at least tapered off. But that was an absolute missed opportunity there by our Mayan, who is now getting Elite Eagle Warriors. Are we going to get to see Elite Eagle Warriors try to outraid the Khmer Hussar? No, he's getting Elite Ballista Elephant. Okay. I mean, I think he's got the resources for Hussar as well. He moves in, tries to get the Mango, fails miserably, loses his 2 units. Now the Viper's just kind of hanging out here, waiting to send these guys to do some kind of raiding, I'm assuming. Here we've got 18 and 3, 2, 1. Boom, they are now elite. And they are clearing up infrastructure. Now, as a siege unit, technically they do come with siege-related bonuses. Stone Defense 3, Building 4, Fishing Ship, all that good stuff. And Tree 100, because this is the only unit in the game that can clear a tree in the Castle Age. And there is the Hussar upgrade, right as our Mayan pivots into armor upgrades for his Eagles. And let's see if I was right about that 5 siege bonus. Yeah, siege plus 5, cavalry plus 4. So now these Eagle Warriors, they do 9 bonus damage to these elephants, which is pretty darn badass if you can surround the elephant with multiple eagles. But speaking of surrounding, we've got Hussars being driven out by eagles, but at the same time, Dragonstar needs to get his numbers up because he does not have enough numbers to defend both the north, the south, and the pending central incursion here into his base. But luckily for him, the Viper's not really in any kind of rush, it seems like. He's just clearing up infrastructure, as it looks like the Hussars to the 3 o'clock position of the map have been cleared out. Whoa, okay. Right as he fired his volley. What happened? 36 army supply to 46. Oh, 88. And Dragonstar, again, does have more villager kills, but the Viper caught up. And like I said, he had the ability to defend against the Hussars there, their wings melting into the grasslands, but not on multiple fronts. I mean, this is just going to pull the Viper, pull Dragonstar apart. How many barracks does he have? Only 6. If he had 3 or 4 here and 3 or 4 here, maybe he could have survived. Or if he did what the Viper did, which if you noticed, anchor castles like Orion's Belt, they're just defending. This is a spine of castles. This one is defending the gold. Actually, speaking of gold, let's go back 1 second and see the villager allocation. 20 on gold. I thought maybe he was running out of gold and that's why he resigned. No, he's got a gold patch here. It's only got 1,300 gold. Does he have any other gold? Nope. And the Viper? Oh, man. 4 patches. 4 patches. And... okay. So the Viper's got 11 patches of gold to the 3 of his opponent. I mean, not every patch is going to have the 800 gold. 660, 593, 85, blah, blah, blah. But 11 will always beat out 3, unless, of course, those 3 are fully... I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty. 11 will almost always beat out 3. And wow, did I see, by the way, while I was looking for gold, yeah, I saw some Eagle raid. Yeah, so he was also trying to raid to the rear, but he got cleaned up. And now he sees the castle. Actually, has he seen all 4? 1, 2, 3. He hasn't seen this 4th one. He's about to, though, with these eagles. And Dragonstar just runs out of steam after having pressed the gas pedal for an hour and 2 minutes. The Mayan car has finally just run out of gas. And the Viper, now that he has Hussars, it's a toss-up, right? Because neither base is walled off. This base is not walled off. This base is not walled off. The difference is the Khmer raiding unit costs Bubkiss 80 food when he's got 57 villagers that are, again, more productive. They don't have to move from here to drop off food and then return. They're just gathering food all the livelong day, whereas your raiding unit, as cool as it is, as more powerful as it is, it costs gold. And Dragonstar ends the game with 68 gold in the bank, which is enough to train 1 Eagle Warrior. And even though I would have loved to see a big battle here in the center, ultimately he just runs out of resources. He's got 100 stone he could sell. I mean, there's more stone here that he could sell if he really, really, really needed to, but I'm struggling to remember when I've ever seen at the end of a game a pro player sell their stone for gold. I don't think I've ever seen it. I think they just GG. And Dragonstar, what an absolute clinic of aggression. The Viper, what an absolute clinic of defense. I thought the Viper was for sure done at around the 35-minute mark of the game. But man, tenacious is not even a word to describe this player. He just held on. He pivoted, lost his town center, pivots again, this time with a castle, finally manages to get the rear resources, and then makes his way up to Hussar, which honestly, I don't know why it took an hour for these players to get to Imperial Age. I'm glad it did. I'm glad it wasn't a 30-minute game where the Viper just GGs after losing a whole bunch of infrastructure here. I'm glad we got to see what we got to see, but ultimately, if your raiding unit is trash and your opponent's is not, you're going to be able to produce a lot more of them. And I think of now that Dragonstar sees the trash unit and sees that armor-wise it's fully upgraded, just missing Blast Furnace, I think he realizes his days of idyllic and peaceful farming, relaxing with a pipe and a glass of Merlot are over, and he's just going to be raided to death. Oh, never mind. He's got 2 more patches here, a massive 476 gold over here. And so ultimately he realizes even though he can stick around, even though he can take maybe a full frontal fight, army to army, he just doesn't have enough army to protect all of his settlement. And you best believe the Viper is going to channel his inner Hera and just start spamming these Hussars. There's already 11 out, 6 more on the way. And as they raid the periphery, as they slice and dice a little bit off the sides, that Ballista Elephant Force, which by the way has not been dealt with, is going to move forward. Are you kidding me? 28 elite Ballista Elephants with 0 kills? I mean, they've dealt damage. I guess that's the structures. How do you have 28 elite Ballista Elephants with 0 kills? Okay, well, there you go. Virgin Ballista Elephants, just trained, just ready for battle, and Dragonstar doesn't give him an opportunity to use them. What an amazing game. Light Cavalry was the most trained for our Khmer, 170 Eagle Warriors. Yeah, it would have been, I think, would have been better for our mind to try to establish some kind of map control, especially if he had the Viper pinned into a corner for the longest time. If he had access to this gold in addition to the ones that he has back home, maybe it would look a little bit differently, but doesn't really matter. I'm also kind of happy we didn't see archers out of our Mayan, even though ultimately they are kind of an archer civilization. The economies, oh, mamma mia, what is that, like 15 to 20% bigger economy for our Khmer. Even though he lost a lot more villagers along the way, a little bit more wood, a lot more food, but look at the gold for our Mayan. Even with 5,000 extra gold, he couldn't afford the eagles at the end, and he did 1,700, just under 3 castles worth of stone. But the food, this is where your farming bonus / Hussar rating kills your opponent in the later stage of the game. Like I said, the Khmer, they got to get their butts up to Castle and Imperial with lots of food in the bank, and this is exactly why, because just the threat of the Hussar spam is enough to make people roll their eyes, throw their hands up, and say, for the love of God. 18 to 1,200 is not the biggest difference in relics, even though the Viper ultimately does pinch all 3 of those that our Mayan didn't take home with him. He left them in the forward position. And there's double crossbow. So, very self-explanatory upgrade. The Ballista Elephants and the Scorpions, even though we didn't get to see Scorpions, did get to throw a second bolt. Conversion's not playing a role, and there's what I wanted to see, raisings. So decent amount of raisings for both players, even though actually it's an hour-long game. So not the highest, but decent nonetheless. And the Viper kills about 100 more units than his opponent. This might be it. I mean, obviously, with the stronger, tankier unit, you're going to kill more. Comparably, 60 HP. Oh, he didn't have El Dorado to add the 40 extra HP. So our Mayan, ultimately, at the end of the day, like I said, in the very seconds afterwards, after I was confused as to why the game ended, he just ran out of gas. His Eagles are not optimized. They're still missing Blast Furnace, which costs gold. You're not exactly the Spanish here. Missing Blast Furnace, missing El Dorado. And now you're facing off against a fully upgraded Elite Ballista Elephant and soon to be fully upgraded Hussar, which is now spamming out of how many stables? Doesn't look like a lot of stables. Only 2. Okay. So if the Dragonstar knew that his opponent only had 2 stables, maybe he would have stayed in the game a little bit longer. But doesn't really matter. What an absolute amazing game. Amazing aggression. Amazing hold, literally an hour of non-stop aggression. When did the Viper catch those villagers moving out? At like the 2-minute mark of the game, 3-minute mark of the game? Maybe I'm exaggerating, as as I happen to do sometimes, but it was pretty damn early on. And by the way, that archery range is still here. It has been here for an hour and it is still here. And unfortunately, with that archery range, he couldn't really accomplish the critical damage that he wanted. The Viper held on by the skin of his elephant teeth. And by holding on, he managed to push back, build that virgin army of 28 elephants with 0 kills, 29 elephants with 0 kills. And with that army of virgins, it is the Viper who is victorious. But GG in a really fun game to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.